Welcome to the King Kong Trail. I'm Doug Vandiver, sitting next to my lovely bride, Amy.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello. I'm
Hi.
good. How you doing?
Doing good.
How you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. I guess better than your cock-a-doodle-doo chicken stories.
Hey, my chicken stories are amazing, and I have pictures and videos for anyone who wants to see my chickens.
And my smoked chicken is amazing, too.
Oh. So I just remember when we first got them, and they started walking underneath the smoker.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh,
Although I walk through
bless
the
her.
valley of death.
I will fear no barbecue sauce.
You know what's funny, though, is I will not, even when it comes down to it, I will not kill a chicken. I'd rather buy it in the store already. I don't know. It's just...
But the thing about the chickens in the backyard is that they have lived their best life. The stuff in the store, not lived their best life.
Yeah.
So when I'm a little older, you'll be like, you've lived your best life. I know you. I know you. And right next to Amy is, now, we call you Jai.
Mm-hmm.
But
You want me to give you my full legal name?
yes.
Ezekiel Jai Ramatowski.
Okay. That's...
A mouthful.
That is a mouthful. That can be. But Ezekiel Jai Ramatowski.
Mm-hmm.
You hear it once or twice, you get it down.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on. I know
It's
we've
good to be here.
reached out a while ago, and we've kind of become acquaintances through, I don't know, the last 6 months or something like that.
Yeah.
You started going to the crossing down in Keokuk,
Mm-hmm.
and you became the campus pastor for Weaver.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about, I'm going to start off with talking about Weaver and the campus and how it started and how, where it's at and what people can expect. And definitely, the invitation to come down to check it out.
Yeah. So Weaver, actually, believe it or not, the Weaver campus, the desire to come in this area is about 10 years coming. I obviously wasn't a part of that, but the crossing had been looking to, bring a church down around in the Burlington area, and just desiring to, well, you guys are up here. You guys have wanted a church here for some time, and there's
Yes.
been some other people. So just looking to, be able to minister in this area. And it's kind of crazy the way, God works behind the scenes. He works, in my life. He's worked in the crossing. I was just talking to some other people yesterday about this, and they were talking about how they, a lot of times we have our timelines, and God has His timeline, and
Yes,
they've tried to plant a church here in this area, in the Weaver, Fort Madison, Burlington area, a couple different times. It just didn't work out, and then it just seems like things were falling into place. For me, how I got involved, we began going to Keokuk about a year and a half ago, a little over a year and a half ago. My dad invited me. The church we had been going to, we'd gone for around 30 years. Kind of grew up in that church. My dad had gone there for a really long time, and there was a change in leadership, and we just felt it was time to move on. So we started looking for churches, and went to a small home church, and then went to another church, and then my dad invited us out to the crossing. And initially, we had known about the crossing. We just hadn't went because, I'd never done church on a screen before with somebody speaking on a screen. So there was a little bit of a reluctance there. But once we came, it was amazing. It's like each week there was a message that was relevant, that felt like it was exactly on what God was doing, and it felt like this is where we're supposed to be. So just started getting involved. did a small group, a new believers class, and then ended up, I think you were in the Bible study as well with the men's Bible study. And, and then I was just approached at one time. I know they said, they decided in September, they said, we have decided after our summer of preview services, and I led worship, and you guys, I think you guys played in some of those as well, didn't you?
Yep.
And they said in September after those preview services, they said, all right, we're going to do it. We're going to take a step of faith and launch this without knowing who they would going to have for a campus pastor. And then I was approached in November, and and Ben asked me. He said, would you consider? So I met with him, and it just felt like, I had been praying for the last couple years. Just I want to do something with my life for this, for the rest of my life, really, that's eternally significant. That I don't want to be in spreadsheets for 8 and 9 and 10 hours a day. I want to do something that is going to make a difference in people's lives. So this was just right up my alley as far as an answer to prayer. So one thing led to another, and I had a couple different interviews, and things went well, and it's just been history to this point. It's just full on 100 miles an hour. It's felt like since doing the building project and starting. So
Right.
So they approached you to even start thinking about it in November, and the launch date was Christmas Eve.
I think it was November. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So things progressed quickly. I think my last day at my job was the 29th of November.
Okay. So what did you do? What was your previous job?
So I was a senior supply planner. I like I said, was in spreadsheets. Basically what I do, I would make production schedules. I worked at ConAgra Foods.
Okay.
I would make the production schedules, worked with attainment and adherence, and a lot of different metrics I tracked, and
Oh, well, we do
Things like that.
production schedules, putting on this thing.
yeah.
I don't think it's that involved what we do, though.
No. It's
This
like,
is-
hey, you want to hang out and drink coffee with us and talk?
Yeah. So, yeah, very cool. Now, let's talk about the kind of like the structure, because as you mentioned, that one of our biggest things, too, was like a screen. You
Yeah.
want me to go watch, I could stay home and watch
Right,
a
true.
preacher on TV. But it, for somebody that has that hesitation, I had that hesitation. I think just about anybody that goes there,
Yeah.
their initial thought is that. But so the structure of a crossing worship service, and there's 12 campuses now, and that goes from Quincy. Let's see if we can name them all.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
All right. This is a game. Okay. You name the first one. I'll
Quincy,
go.
obviously.
Quincy number 2.
Okay,
The
929.
Yeah, 99. Uh-huh.
I'll go with Lima.
all right. Jacksonville,
Peru. Peru? Is Peru one?
I don't know.
no,
I think
Is
you're
there
making
one-
stuff up
Is there
to
one that
get to
starts with a
12.
P? Okay. Monmouth.
You were thinking of Pike County.
I knew it started with a P. Okay, that's Pike County.
that one. So you get and you got Monmouth.
I said Monmouth.
I know that's why that's
Okay.
okay. Macomb,
Weaver.
Mount Sterling.
Sterling, that's 10.
Did we say Keokuk?
No, we did not. So that's 11.
Hannibal.
Hannibal.
Hannibal, that's
Kirksville.
12.
Did we say Kirksville?
I think so.
Okay.
Did
And
we?
then we have the crossing inside.
Yes.
Yes,
Which
that is
is-
amazing.
Yeah. And where do the crossing inside, that is inside prisons. Okay. So where
What prisons are they in? Do you know?
I don't.
I think they're in Vidalia Women's
That
prison,
sounds right.
and I think they're in one other one, like a men's prison too.
and I think they were talking about
Expanding. that.
expanding on that. And then they just Clayton was talking about they're venturing into another
Nursing homes.
nursing home.
You know,
Yeah.
okay. So I got excited when I heard that because I work with in a different field now, but for 19 years I was an activities director in a nursing home and part of the activity director state coalition, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so when we were putting together a book of like websites and different things for nursing homes to use for activities and this and that, I put the crossing down as for church services. So I don't know if they even know that they are in a state for all
directory.
They're in a state directory for all of Iowa as I think they're, last I checked, I haven't been there for 5 years because I'm somewhere else now, but it was the only website for church services because it has everything there.
Yeah.
And it's also on Thursday nights because in a lot of nursing homes, it's hard to get in on a Sunday just because you don't have the staff, you don't have the volunteers because everybody's doing their thing. But on Thursday nights might be a little easier. So I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So they're already in a state directory for activities. When they said that, I'm like, oh, I've already put them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was super excited about that.
There has been, and so I actually have been privy to some of the conversations, and there's a ton of excitement about it. I mean, people, I know even from Weaver, people have reached out and said, hey, I want to be involved, and there's excitement, and there's a lot. I mean, I think, so it's still in the planning, and I know they're still working logistics out and how to do this, but I think it's going to be a resource that untapped resource, to be able to minister to so many people that would love to have it. Just,
Right. Now, and I know when I was a youth pastor, that was one of my big passions was the intergenerational ministry and outreach, that it wasn't just the Sunday morning attenders versus those darn kids. It was, how can we get the not just, get the kids involved on Sunday morning, but how can we get those Sunday morning adults involved in the lives of the kids? And, so when I hear that they're going to do the nursing home, that is just expands God's kingdom from the ages that we see on Sunday morning and the kids, and then, to that, it's exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
I think when you think in terms of sowing and reaping too, I mean, like we're getting older, we're not getting younger, right? and
I'm ageless. I'm part vampire. I don't know what you're talking about.
But do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And I think we would like, if we were in that situation, I think we would want somebody to reach out to. So I think it's amazing.
So the Crossing has several different opportunities for in-person or at the campus level. So let's kind of walk through that. We have Thursday nights, quite a few of the nights, not all of them, because Weaver hasn't got to that point yet.
Right.
So there are quite a few campuses that do Thursday nights.
And there's also online.
Online Thursday for sure.
Yep, online. Sunday morning. Weaver right now is at 10 o'clock.
Correct, yep.
And then other campuses that have two services, it is like, 9:45?
9 and 10:45.
9 and 10:45.
Yeah.
Yep. Somebody singing in there. We got kids in the other room, kids, they're young adults.
They're my babies. They're always going to be kids.
So anyway, so there are quite a few different opportunities, and if you can't catch it on those times, you can always catch a repeat and watch a service.
Yeah.
And watch not all of them, but quite a few different sermon series online. And where would that be found at? What is?
So there's a YouTube page, and then we also if you have the app, it's One Crossing.
Okay.
And then you can watch them from both those locations.
Right. So you probably type in on YouTube One Crossing also, because I think that I've done I've gotten confused a few different times and just put crossing in, and a ton of different churches show up. So
Yeah, I want to give you the exact.
For sure.
So as you're doing that, a typical service includes worship music, and each campus is going to have crossing church at one crossing.
At one crossing, yep.
Yeah, so I
Crossing
think if
church
you-
at one crossing.
I think if you pretty much search one crossing, you're going to find that. So Sunday mornings, you want to walk us through a typical service?
Yeah. So the order changes sometimes, but we generally have a couple songs, a welcome, and then a message, and then we do a couple more songs on the back end, and then we'll have communion. We do communion every week at the crossing, and then we also, if we have a baptism, it's generally around that time, and then just we have a closeout. So it's a lot packed in.
Right.
You know, it's easy to say quickly, but there is a lot that we pack in
Right.
a short period of time.
Right.
Yeah, and they have a lot of great things for kids. One of the things that when our son works with the kids, and one of the things I thought I really appreciated when he started volunteering with the kids, he was actually given a background check. And I think that's super important because there's a lot of stuff out there, and you know,
Sorry,
want my coaster?
probably could use it.
Is that a crystal Yeti?
It sounded like it. So I hit the high C and bust my glasses.
Oh my goodness! You hit the high C and bust your glasses, and all the high C runs out and it gets all sticky.
Okay. Anyway,
Yes. So
bunny trails.
We follow so many bunny trails. No, but to know that the kids are safe and there's it's secure, and that's important because I think there is I in my work, one of the things I do is I do this little thing for the kids where we're teaching about touch and not good touch and stuff like that. And you shouldn't have to have those lessons for kids, for little preschoolers. You shouldn't have to have those lessons at all. But we live in the world we live in, so I do that there. So I'm kind of passionate about protecting kids. And to know that I'm in a church that values kids, that, sends out, just having that background check and knowing that, people are vetted to work with kids, which is great.
Yeah, we don't just have just anybody, we want people in there that we would trust our own kids. For me now, my grandkids, I would want people in our services that we would, trust them. And,
Right.
It's like we just don't pull somebody off the street and say, "Hey, what are you doing on a Sunday?"
We really need help with the babies. Yeah. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because kids are important. I mean,
Yes.
everybody's important, but people who are vulnerable, kids, elderly, the people who are vulnerable need extra protection, and so just knowing that that's there makes me feel good. So when I saw that come through for him, I was like, good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have a system put in place that, not just anybody can get to your kids,
They get tackled.
Yeah.
You have to have a password.
We do have security.
We do.
We do. But, and then we have, and we keep the kids in an area, and then we close off any access to them. And then each kid is, I say we bag them and tag them, but we do identify. That's a better word to say. We identify the children.
Bag them and tag them.
And
Tag's
then-
funny though.
Yeah, but we do identify the kids, and because we would want that for our kids, right? And we want people to feel safe. We want this experience to be an awesome experience for the kids, for the parents, and we don't want there to be obstacles to coming to Jesus and experiencing experiencing God. Unfortunately, we live in a world where, the devil is active, but we're gonna to guard, and we're gonna be the ambassadors for God, and we're gonna protect, and and be a light and lead people to Jesus at the same time. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was just really grateful when I saw that come through. I'm like, because I wasn't sure. I don't work with the kids. I work in the tech booth and the sound booth, and get to play bass every once in a while. So I don't see that end of it. But I've worked in other churches where they just
it's just a
didn't do that.
babysitting service, and this is not.
Right.
Every single one of the kids, like there is that's one good thing about being part of the Crossing is like we're one church, multiple locations, and they're all getting the same curriculum. They're all getting the same lessons. There's a lesson that has been thoughtfully prepared by people that have been put a lot of work into it, the same way that our sermons in the adult services. We do. If you've never been to our service, there's people who put a light show together just to make it excellent. They put the songs together. We all do the same songs. They put a presentation together in the same way. They do the same sort of things with the kids group. So, we want to, do what we're doing. And, we don't think of the kids as second-class citizens. They're actually, it's this generation. This is the generation. That's one of the things, one of our core values is that we focus on this generation and our kids, because this is the generation,
Yep, absolutely. So I think we covered just about everything about the crossing in Weaver. So if you're coming from Burlington, you're going down South 61, and it used to be a brown red brick building on the left-hand side, right there in Weaver. Now you can't miss it. It is a whitewash, stonewash, whatever you want to call it, white building.
I think it was just painted, not stonewashed.
We bleached each one of the bricks.
Yes.
No, it's painted. It's painted.
I'm going to turn the camera off. You and I are going to have words, all right?
So anyway. Words. That's how we talk.
Everybody knows you'd kick my butt anyway. So if you're going down south from Burlington, which is just a short drive from our house. It is
12 minutes.
12 minutes.
12 minutes.
I can leave my house.
That's awesome.
And get there. And
that's with traffic. I mean, because Burlington has such bad traffic.
I've got you beat. I have 8 minutes.
Oh.
I used to have that drive at one of the churches I served in. So, yes, that is a good feeling.
Yeah.
And we complained about the drive to Keokuk, but it was more, how do you invite somebody? Say, hey, you want to go to church with me? 40 miles away. Got to leave an hour early.
Yeah.
Now it's, hey, it's 12 minutes. It's 13 minutes, or, wherever. It's a lot closer. So we were excited when Weaver was, that option, not just that Burlington could come in, but also Fort Madison and all the surrounding, and let's not forget
Denmark, Weaver.
So
West Point, Donaldson. Yeah. Even Illinois, Dallas City, Niota.
Oh, we draw the line. No. I mean, it's Illinois. Come on.
Yeah.
The main campus there, but
Oh yeah, we love Illinois.
I just think it's fun that it's in the, I keep thinking tri-state area, and my best Doofenshmirk first Doofenshmirk. I can't even. Do you know?
Yeah.
The tri-state area. Okay, my imitations
Phineas
are,
and Ferb.
Yes.
I know.
Love
Unfortunately, I know I'm probably a little bit too illiterate when it comes to cartoons.
I don't know. The theme song's going through my head right now.
Absolutely. We want to invite anybody down to come check it out. Sunday morning, 10 o'clock. And then there are some small groups going on. We have one on Wednesday nights. There is the men's group still meeting.
We will be starting it back up. So actually this week we are developing a time schedule when they're starting. We've actually started a couple of groups that haven't been in the past that are going to be starting up, and we're going to just give people options. We're in a place right now. It's kind of an odd place because we're just starting, and so normally life groups happen organically, as people are drawn into groups. But we have so many people coming that we've had so many people interested in getting into a life group, interested in getting connected, that we need to just, hey, these are our life groups. Come and then try it out, see where you fit, and give them a list of, hey, we have this many. There's this many in Burlington. There's this many in Fort Madison, and even Illinois. So, that's kind of where we're at now. We're still we've started, but we're still in a kind of just getting out off the blocks. So.
Yep.
Right.
Growing period. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So I think, okay. Have we anything else you want to cover?
Well, I just want to say, our first time at a crossing, because we heard about, so much about it, and your cousin was actually going to the one in Keokuk for a little while. And so we went to the one in Monmouth, like the second week, not the grand opening, but the second week they opened up. And, just knowing that the preacher, the main message was going to be on screen, and I was sitting there thinking, okay, we'll see. But I sat there, and the message, it was Jerry Harris, and I want to say he was talking the Mandela. Anyway, I remember the sermon a little bit about it. It's been a while, but I remember sitting there thinking, he's like really speaking to me. I'm like, that's so weird, and so we started going down to Keokuk after that, and just the knowing that you're part of a church that is one church, multiple locations. I mean, that's what heaven's going to be like. It's one church, multiple locations, and that's I just think it's really cool because I am part of a church family of people I don't even know because they're in other states and other cities, but we're one church family.
Yeah.
So I just think that's really cool.
It is, and I had heard it, but it wasn't until in the last couple of months, that whole statement has really gotten so much, I don't know, color, clarity. It's just just an understanding that we are. There's so many people. I see so many things that even other people don't see, and there's people who are genuinely excited, and other locations, and they're loving the testimonies. They hear this is happening, this is happening, and we've had so much support and so much done for us, from other locations that they want this happen too. We are passionate about Fort Madison and Burlington because this is our area, right?
Right.
But these people, there's people that aren't from Fort Madison, aren't from Burlington, that their passion rivals, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I'll give you one example. We had 3 billboards up before I even knew we were going to put billboards up. It's just so many things like that. So it is amazing. You would think you would be disconnected, and it's not. With all the other campus pastors I've got to meet. I've met them all, and starting to get into relationships with them, and they're just they're for us, they're like, hey, this is not a competition. Like,
Right.
we want them to succeed. They want us to succeed, and what's crazy is like a couple of the campuses we're taking people, and like they are so on, like, yes, we're excited because we are a city that's set on a hill. There's another location where there's a light where people are in that region are going to be impacted. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was in a class at work today, on a Zoom class, talking about connections, and one of the videos that they showed was from the U.S. Surgeon General, was talking about the devastation of isolation in America today, and this is one way we can reach into our communities, because especially post-COVID, I mean, people are so isolated, and there's so much hopelessness. There's so much, addictions, different things like that. There's so many things that people are fighting, and the hope that we have in Christ is amazing. So just being able to share that with our neighbors and our friends and our family, and have them go with us to a place where you're not only just hearing about it, but you're also getting to be a part of it too.
Yeah.
So
one thing that, as you were talking, made me think about National Geographic. I watched a thing and it said lions, they will, in a group of antelope or whatever, they're going to pick off the weak, the one that's ostracized, the one that's set out, and then they're going to pick those ones off. And the Bible says that the devil goes around like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. And it's the people who have been secluded, have either done it themselves or through circumstances and things, they're lonely, they're off by themselves, and so that's what we're doing, right? God's leading people in Burlington, Fort Madison, and we're going out and we're seeing, and that's kind of been my prayer is use us to heal the brokenhearted, to set at liberty the captives. Use us to make an impact on the people who need Jesus and who are just broken. And so that's awesome that we can be that, in this region and in this area.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'm very excited about the potential of growth. Seeing new Christians find that as we say down there, that intimate personal relationship with Jesus, and that's exciting. I'm glad a lot of my friends have churches. Great, stay there.
Right. Yeah.
We want to see the new people.
Yes.
And do it that way.
Yeah.
So, anything else on that subject?
Oh, yeah. So when we first went to Keokuk, probably about 6 months in, back in the days, they had this wall of books, like this little library, and I'm a book nerd, so I loved that. And one of the books that they had, I think Jerry Harris wrote.
I think so.
Yeah.
Or part of it.
Yeah, and Joe Chancellor pulled it off, and he flipped to the page, and he was saying, look, they were talking about wanting to come into Burlington back in this book.
Wow.
Yeah, and we should find that book.
And date it.
Yes. Yeah, and for those people who don't know, Jerry Harris was the lead pastor. He's now kind of a not fill-in, because that doesn't. He's a pastor at the church. Clayton Hensel is the lead pastor. So we have lead pastor down in Quincy. What does that, since you're the pastor at the campus pastor, what does a campus pastor do at a Crossing campus? I know you're just kind of fresh on the job.
Yeah, no. So they say we have our structure is the way it is. One of the things that benefits the campus pastor in a structure where a person isn't spending 10 to 20 hours a week preparing for a message, they can do the things that normally a pastor can't. So, ministering, and being able to make connections with people. And so that's one of the things that I, as we started, I've been trying to do is, reach out to people, make connections, especially as we're, just getting off the ground, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that's, other than like obvious, infrastructure, scheduling this, doing that, other than those types of things, it just leaves time to focus on ministry and those types of things a lot more than, a person that would have to do a lot of study and,
Gotcha. So if since it's the message is kind of piped in, if something happened and the video went down, do you then step in and okay?
Yeah. So that's one good thing is right now at Weaver we see I went this last week to 48th Street and I was actually in their service on a Thursday. And Clayton preaches the same message then. And then this week I'll be going to the 929. And then I think the following week I'll be going to Hannibal because I haven't been to a lot of different locations.
Oh, okay.
To see their services. But, I've seen the service. Plus Clayton, he sends out the message because after the message, there's an invitation because that's one of the things that's very important about like the crossing. We don't want to just stay where we're at, right? We're a church that wants to continue to forget those things which are behind and press toward the mark of the high calling which we have in Christ Jesus. Not to be, hey, I'm just living life, getting by. We want
status quo, man. Keep the status quo.
We want to get more and more like Jesus, and so each week during our invitation, we want to say, God, what are you speaking to me in this message? And we want to challenge, God, this is what I'm going to commit to do with every single message. God, I want to keep moving forward. What are you saying to me? I want to have ears to hear, and I want to make a response for the people who are saved, the people who aren't saved, the people who are just they had, it's been a long time since they've been in church, and they're just coming back. And, we want to keep moving in the direction of Jesus, because the proximity, when we're closer to Jesus, we get more like him, and he changes us. So, so yeah, I said all that to say, we get the message, we see what he's going to say. And then we have a time to pray about it. And then that's one of the things that I do is, I form an invitation. And a lot of times it's like, God, what am I being challenged? And what would I want to challenge other people on? What would I want other people to challenge me to step, to closer to Jesus on? So, So hopefully that never happens, because I'm sure it's not going to be anywhere near the quality that Clayton preaches it.
Well, you wouldn't preach it like Clayton would preach it,
No.
but you would preach it like you would preach it.
Yes,
We
yeah.
can't be somebody
Right.
else, but
Yeah.
you got this.
Yeah. I just, it's
Hopefully
like
it doesn't
shooting
happen,
from the
though.
hip. But yeah,
You'd be shooting from the hip, but the gun's loaded.
yeah.
Okay. Anyway. Okay. Never mind. That analogy made so much more sense in my head.
Well, that just reminded me of the band that I used to be in, and we called ourselves, it wasn't the official name of it, but we were the Kings of Wing.
Yeah.
It was, hey, have you tried it? No, let's go for it. And we
Yeah.
go off, and it usually was terrible. But,
What key are we in? I'm not sure.
yeah, it was usually in the key of Andy or it just,
The key of Gorsh.
yeah, key of Gorsh.
The key of rock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
Oh, goodness. Those are the days.
yeah.
Now he's in a new band, Fall Risk.
Oh, yeah.
You should tell him that story. That's
Okay.
funny.
So I wear this yellow fall risk on here. I
Uh-huh.
don't know which camera I'm looking at. But
That one. No, this one.
this one. Yeah, this one. No.
Oh.
Wow, you were going in the wrong direction. How did you get your driver's license?
Is
And
there another camera
what is
back
in
there?
There, last. Okay, go
It
ahead. Tell the
moves.
story.
Anyway,
It moves.
so I don't even know how I'm on this. I was at a doctor's appointment, and the nurse was, they're doing all the check-in and all this kind of stuff, and I'm still on this medication. Are you on this? And blah blah blah. And she says, "Have you fallen?" And I'm like, "No, but I walk like I'm drunk." And she goes, "Why is that?" And I says, "Well, because of the neuropathy, I don't feel my feet very well." And then before I could finish my sentence, she slapped this yellow band on me, and I still have it. And I'm like, "Fall risk." Hey, what are you doing? Well, I have to because you said you trip, and it's like, yeah, but I don't.
He's like a weevil.
I'm a comedian. This is this is my sarcasm coming out. But then I looked at it and thought, oh man, that's a good name for a band. I got to get merch. So I bought me some yellow bands, fall risk on it. And now when I go to the hospital, they do that and they go, oh, we don't have to give you a band. So
Because he already has his own band.
yeah. So I was telling my cousin we got to get together and
You have to be
he
over a
plays
certain age
drums.
to be in this.
He plays drums. I play acoustic, and you have
Yeah.
to be over 50 to be in fall risk.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And not very nimble on your feet. Maybe
Right. And so that's why I go wireless at church, because I trip over literally
Yeah.
everything.
me too.
So I try to clear up as best as I can. All right. I think that's how long we've little over going on about 50 minutes on Weaver. So we'll just we'll leave it there. Come check out Weaver.
There is a Facebook group. If you look up Weaver,
The Crossing.
the Crossing Weaver,
Yep. Which is the Crossing dash
yeah.
Weaver.
the Crossing Dash Weaver.
Or you just go to one crossing and it'll give you all the other places.
Yeah, that. So if you're interested, you can join the Facebook group, and I'm one of the admins, so I'll let you on.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Yeah.
All right. So check us out, 10 o'clock Sunday morning. Hopefully we grow and get to other
Multiple.
services.
Yep.
Yeah. So
It's not just growing because numbers are cool. It's growing because people matter.
yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Burlington, Fort Madison, Weaver, Donaldson,
Illinois.
Denmark. Y'all matter.
Yep.
You matter.
Yep. Okay. Well, let's get on to something a little lighter.
All right.
Okay.
Tell me your life story.
Oh, wow.
All your
Is that lighter?
That's lighter.
all your pertinent credit information.
Oh, wow.
So you said you were. Are you from this area, the southeast Iowa area?
So yes. So I was born in Fort Madison. My dad and mom divorced when I was 3, and so my mom moved around a lot. So I've lived in Minnesota. I've lived all around here. I went to school in Burlington one time, Carthage, Nauvoo, Fort Madison. I lived in Minnesota, Chicago. I lived down in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, you went
So
all over the place.
I went all over, yeah. So I actually went to, I think I counted 18 different school buildings,
Oh wow.
12 different school systems
Oh, wow.
in my 12 years. So I could tell you up until I was 24, I would get anxiety, 24, 25, and every fall, because it was like when I was younger, it was a new school every fall. So, I would get anxiety just because of the change of the weather.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I moved around a lot, but my dad has always lived in Fort Madison. So I'd come back and play baseball with the same people, Pony League, Little League. And then my senior year, I moved back. And so the church that we went to, I met my wife there. She was from Fort Madison, had lived in Fort Madison her whole life. We dated, and I think after 6 months I proposed to her. And we were married when I was 19, right before my 20th birthday. After we got married, went off to Bible college, went to Christ for the Nations.
Is that in Texas?
Dallas, Texas, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And did a jail and prison ministry internship there. And then came back and just started serving in our local church. So I was part of a bus ministry. My dad actually, we would go pick up kids. We'd go visit them on a Saturday and then pick them up on a Sunday morning. And then got into the youth ministry. I ended up becoming a youth pastor I was a youth pastor for probably 10 years. And we had anywhere between, depending on what time of the year, between 50 and 85 kids that we would pick up in Fort Madison, which is actually fairly good for the size of a town Fort Madison is. And I would say 80 to 85% of those kids were unchurched. We'd take a bus down and pick them up and bring them in and, love on them, share the gospel. And some of them were rough. We've had some, but we actually had some kids that their parents wouldn't, our own church kids, their parents wouldn't let them come to our youth group because it was a little rough. But,
we should compare notes sometime.
Yeah. we were being evangelistic and that's we're looking to make a difference in the people. We're going to the people that need it. So, then I was probably, how old was I? I was probably close to 30. I felt like I asked God, I said, I want to do something else that in some way that I can, I want to do more. So I asked him, I want to start playing music. So my daughter got a first act. We got her a little first act 3/4 inch, a 3/4 little acoustic, and it came with a chord book. And so I just started learning chords and started learning tabs on it. And then somebody said, hey, I got this acoustic I'm not using, and started playing it. And then just the rest is history. Our pastor bought me an electric. And so it went from, I played the bass, I played the electric on it, then I started playing acoustic, started leading, and so I led worship for quite a while too. So during this time, go ahead.
It's a really interesting that you started on your daughter's toy one, and you just never know where things come from. So that's awesome.
And what's been crazy is like I think I haven't been afraid to ask for things. If I want something, if something crosses my mind, I just say, God, that's, and I ask. And so there's a scripture says, you have not because you ask not. And, I haven't been afraid to ask, so, and what's crazy is like, sometimes I like, there was a point even in this, taking the campus pastor job here, I'm like, these are things that I asked for, like God was showing me, remember you asked for this and this and this and this, and specific things that are coming to fruition with this campus. And I there was a point where I'm like, what have I done? What have I asked for? But I think, if I'm giving you my life kind of my background, it's been, I think if you just, the thread has been, God has led me, because I got saved when I was very, very young. My mom had a stepdad that used to grow pot in my closet. You know, I learned how to roll a joint from watching him at the dinner table. You know, and just rolling joints. I've never smoked one, but I could tell you how to do it.
You probably thought that was normal.
Yeah. And so, and then they would say, they say, what do you want to be? I remember, and was it like first grade, kindergarten, first grade, second grade? What do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, a police officer. And they said, are you going to turn us in? I'm like, I can't be a police officer, you know? So, and then my mom ends up getting divorced, and she ends up dating a backslidden preacher's kid. And so we moved down to Texas, and his parents were amazing people. They had been missionaries in Japan. They are pastoring a 700-member church. And it just, at strategic moments in my life, I get connected with strategic people. And him and my mom, their marriage didn't end up working out. They were married for quite a while, but he ended up after that moving to China and starting 2 orphanages in China.
Oh,
and
wow.
He's since passed away probably, I think, 4 or 5 years ago of, I think, with colon cancer. But, you know, there's been like time after time after time, like God has led me and provided and directed my steps, and he's still doing it. And it's amazing, because I think I got saved when I was very, very young. My dad had been a believer. My dad's mom was a believer. And there was always that stability there, but I would go off to instability and come back and forth. And
That's hard. That's hard on
Yeah.
it's hard on people.
And my dad's not perfect. You know, he'll be the first to tell you. What's really great about my dad is he is first self-aware to realize he's not perfect, and number 2, he's humble enough to admit it and to tell us, hey, you know, I didn't know what I was doing. You know, so but God's been faithful. He's led me, you know, and he's still doing it. And I'm just, you know, it's crazy. I've been, you know, here for the ride. It's cool.
So, tell me about your wife, your kids.
Yeah, so I have.
You're a grandpa. You don't look
Old enough to be a grandpa.
to be a grandpa.
Yeah, before I came, I got to spend some time with my grandson. He's 2. His name's James. So I have 4 kids. I have a 24-year-old, a 22-year-old, a 19-year-old, and then my youngest is a senior in high school, and she's 18, or she will be 18. And my oldest, she was a piano performance major at Iowa. She's got a beautiful voice. She actually, here in Burlington, with Dr. Pappas, she does a lot of down at the Arts Center. She'll work with him, and she does.
Nice.
Like she did the vocals, and actually she did a piano piece too they did a Billie Holiday tribute.
Oh, that was the one I wanted to go to.
And that's
didn't make it.
So that was my daughter, actually. She sang that, and she played the piano for one of them. But
was it her guitar that led you in? Is she the one that had the guitar?
Yes, this is my oldest. Yeah, it was
Okay.
her guitar. What's crazy is from that point when I asked God that, like, that was about the same time we started getting her in lessons. And then my second daughter, she plays the pianos and sings as well. She goes to Crossview in Keokuk, and she's been going there for quite a while. My son, you guys know my son.
Mm-hmm.
He plays the drums. Like, he came out of the womb like talented as far as musically. Like, he was playing. I tell people when he was 5, he was like literally already surpassed me. Like, I actually had a drum set in my room in high school, and I couldn't get past a rock beat, you know. But my son, at 5 years old was playing that, unsyncopated, like just crazy beats.
Right.
And
He's really good.
yeah, he's good. I hope he doesn't hear this. We don't need him to get a big head or anything.
Oh,
But
I was like, we won't tell him.
yeah, but he's very good. And then my youngest daughter, Naomi, believe it or not, she doesn't want to have anything to do with instruments. Like, Naomi, you don't want to play anything? No.
That's our
No,
youngest.
No.
I'm like, all these instruments around here. I'm like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
I
But
don't-
she
Yeah.
she is my shyest as well. But her voice is she has a beautiful voice. So I'm just waiting for her to get to the point where she wants to come out, and sing. Because like my oldest daughter's, like, she's singing, Billie Holiday stuff too. And like, I think my youngest daughter could rival, like, my oldest daughter said, I think she might sing better than she does. So, but we can't, we just listen in on her in her bedroom when she's singing. So, and then my wife, we got together when we were, very young. And God brings people that are different, and then kind of beats them until he changes things about each one of them. And she is like the perfect person for me. She just, I can't say enough about it. Sometimes you think, God, what have you done? This crazy person, but then you look at, like, hindsight's 20/20, and you look back on your life, and I'm like, oh my goodness, the way that she's changed, the way that I've changed, and the way that we've grown as people. And it's crazy. Like, I couldn't have picked a better person to do life with. So
That's awesome.
yeah, she's definitely what I needed.
Well, speaking of wives and stuff like that, one of the things that the church has is like a Marriage Matters retreats.
Yeah.
They have women's retreats, they have men's retreats, and that's one of the ways that we're so many different campuses that we can come back together too. So we should do that. We should do one of those sometime.
So there's only like 4 left.
Well, not this time. It's
Four
too-
left on the February one. There was 15 left on the March one.
But by the time you talk about it, and all the other churches, they're probably.
Well, that's okay.
In
We'll-
March,
we'll-
we've already
we'll
got
catch-
stuff
we'll,
going on.
We'll catch the next one because Paige is coming home. So
Yeah.
that's, yeah.
I've wanted to go to them this year just because, like, I've never been to one, and I'm announcing them, and I'm like, I've been to the.
All right, we're back.
Click, we're back.
Click. Something happens. It's like me. It blanks out every once in a while and forgets what it's doing. So I'm praying that we still have what we just did is in the.
I'm sure we do.
It did it before, and it's still there. So
If it's not there, it was amazing.
it was
Like, it was
incredible. But I do have audio proof. So
okay.
It was the best thing ever.
yeah,
Yeah. Marriage retreats.
marriage retreats.
Retreating
Yeah.
in marriage.
So we're talking about. Let me make sure that's on.
That's what you do after you've made your wife mad.
Yeah, you retreat.
I never retreat.
That's why you don't walk very well. That's why you have to wear that bracelet.
Yes, yes.
What is it? Fall
Everybody.
risk.
Or
Everybody.
because they will just tip you over. No, I wouldn't tip you over.
So how long have you been married?
Oh wow! Since '95, September
Okay.
2nd of 1995,
Okay.
in the year of our Lord 1995. So 29 years, I think.
Wow.
Does that sound right?
Yeah,
'cause
because
we're on 26.
It will be 29 this year,
yep, and we're going to be.
or is
on-
it going to be 30 this year?
I think you're on 30 because
man.
wait.
Let's see, 90.
Wait, you said 99?
Math. It'll be 30 this year. So it's been 29. Can we edit this part out? I want my wife to see this. It'll be 30 years. in my defense, like after you get to about, over 10, it just start losing count.
They all kind of blend in together.
Yeah.
Well, see, like, I don't know. We've always been able to keep track. You can't keep track of how old you are. She's like, how old are you? Well, I'm 54. And she'll,
Yeah.
oh, I'm 4 years younger, so I'm,
Yeah.
It's like,
I've done that.
See?
I was 47 and I thought I was 48. And then I got to my birthday and I turned 48. I'm like, I just got a whole year back. I just gained a whole year.
nice.
I think
Yeah.
mine was when I was first having kids, because I was like, well, I will be this age when the kids are born. So then in my mind, I was that age. And so that is my excuse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you got a place to go off of, like my daughter was born in 2000, I always know how old she is. What year is it? 2024, 2025 now, but she'll be 25 this year.
My daughter's friends is the same way. She says, oh, you can always know how old she is by, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to remember that, but now I'm remembering that, so I guess I can
Yeah.
remember that. I remembered.
Remember?
Remember me. Mm-hmm.
What else do we want to know about you?
I once had a hearse as a family car.
Did you?
What?
Yeah, I did.
Did it actually haul people?
I mean, it hauled us.
Wait, you
mean
guys-
it used to be a hearse.
I mean, no, I'm thinking
Like
you
we
guys
don't,
didn't.
we didn't currently
you
carry
didn't-
dead people. Like
you didn't
It
own
wasn't a
a-
part-time job.
Was it your
Okay, so
side
you-
No,
gig?
it wasn't a side gig. No, they actually carpeted the back.
So they slide in and out easier?
No, they they had the big bucket seat. It was one of those Addams Family type ones, the
Ooh,
big.
Yeah.
And so there was a little ledge that us kids sat on the back of.
Okay.
So yeah, and then it was just all carpeted, so we could just go like we'd lay down and the thing, pretend pretend we were.
Trying it out.
But we lived down a long lane, and we would come home, and as like we were in the truck, and the lights would pass it, and it's like, oh man, now I don't want to get out of the car. It's just like it's so creepy. It was so dark. Yeah, my mom also had a half trike. It was a trike. It was half a Volkswagen Bug and motorcycle.
My dad had one of those.
Yeah.
It was Volkswagen. And I don't know how he drove it because there was something wrong with the front end. And my dad had a stroke. And so he didn't have all that strength.
Yeah.
But I rode it one time and I had to push with my left hand because the front end was so messed up. In order to get it go straight,
Yeah.
you had to fight it. But it was a cool little thing.
Yeah, ours had a stick underneath the seat, so it was a stick shift, and
A stick shift motorcycle.
yeah, it was kind of.
Stick shift motorcycle.
I think the clutch was
Would've
on the
thought that.
hand, right?
Yeah.
And then it was just like a regular stick shift.
I think they call those on our motorcycle. I believe they call that a suicide shift, because yeah,
Because you
They
have
call
to
it a
use one
suicide
hand.
because they go,
yeah,
that's why?
something like that, something like that. Yeah, yep. So, crazy
Oh,
stuff.
my goodness.
So what do you do for fun? I mean, you only work one day a week, Pastor.
Yeah. It hasn't. My experience thus far has not been. It's been
that's so
crazy
wrong.
so far.
Hey, I had that thrown at me a couple times that I just think it's the funniest thing because people don't realize, it's, while they're resting on Sundays,
Yeah.
you're up in front, you're doing things, you're not resting. So anyway, I know you work. I've seen you,
Oh, we
doing
have
that
a great
at church.
picture we should put up with this thing of when we were painting. And when you and Joe were in those jumpsuits
Oh,
and you
yeah.
had the black paint on and you kind of look like mass murderers. And
Yeah,
it-
like what is it? work release from the prison.
Yeah. And it was on Friday the 13th that I took those pictures.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I didn't say anything about that on the Facebook page, but I was sitting there posting them. I'm like,
Yeah. I was lost track of days at that point. I'm like, I don't know, who knows when it is, because it's
Right.
just.
So what do you do for fun? What do you do to unwind?
So, well, I play the guitar, like you know that. I like to build things. I have actually built recently. I built a guitar cab, like the speaker cab
Okay.
portion. So I bought a Hughes and Kettner tube, the 18-watt
Kind of
head.
like what you use down there in Key.
Yes, yeah. So theirs is why I bought it, and then I built a cab, a speaker cab. It was a 112, and I like building things, like playing guitar. I have a Gretsch,
those are pretty.
and then I also have a Strat. So I have the player Strat, a
Nice.
red. And then I have a Taylor acoustic, and I like doing that. I used to, when I was a young man, I used to play a lot of basketball. I like basketball.
There are a couple hoops at the church.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think that's one of, I say, like, I just, like, things would pass my mind and I would pray about them.
Mhm.
I would ask God for them. I think that's actually one of the things, like, I'm like, hey, God, if I'd like a job where I could just go play basketball if I wanted to, This is
just
crazy.
down the
Not that
hallway.
I think I'm just feeding into the whole, you work one day, you go and play basketball the rest of the time. But no, it's cool. There's 2 basketball hoops there. So, anymore I've started lifting and trying to get healthy, lose weight. So I started lifting and walking. My wife and I, we go walk and pray. Right now we're going around at the hospital because it's way too cold outside.
You got to
So we go
dodge
on
goose poop though.
Yes, down up at the marina. Have you been?
No, I think we're talking 2 different towns.
Oh, you're Fort Madison. That's right.
But we do. So we have tons of geese on Riverview. So, yes.
So yeah, same with Great River, Southeast Iowa, whatever they call it.
Oh,
these
you
days.
guys! So you walk outside of Great River. So
Yeah.
there's a indoor track, in the hospital in Fort Madison.
Oh, there's
Okay.
one indoor at the hospital in Burlington. No, that's at the Y. I'm thinking.
You guys have like the mall.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good.
There's
place
no
to walk.
goose poop in the mall.
No.
No.
No. Have you been recently?
Yeah,
I go-
it's pretty empty, that place.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
I remember when it was being built back in the heyday. It's like, oh wow, that is so cool. And
Yeah.
now it's just like times change.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You know,
Vision Cast here. How about the crossing north? And you take one end, youth, one end.
I think that there was, I know at least people I had talked to that there was an idea kicked around, something like that.
That would be cool, wouldn't it?
I'm game.
Yeah. So yeah.
That would be a huge facility, huge church, right?
Right, but it needs a new ceiling or a new roof because there's some
Ooh.
leaks, and you look up there and you're like, "Ooh, there's some funky looking spots
Yeah,
up
it's
there."
an old building.
It
It's
is an old building.
So
Movie
yeah.
theater, right? Just church, then go to a movie.
Yeah.
Now, I was on a mission trip where we went and helped out with a church that actually met in a movie theater. And that was kind of cool.
That was-
It was in
Virginia?
Virginia Beach. Actually, no, it was close to Virginia Beach. Everything just kind of melds into one thing. But the adults would meet in this theater here. Kids would be in the next one. They'd have actual movie theater staff show up and make cappuccino and stuff like that. It was pretty cool.
That is cool. Yeah.
But it was the tearing, the setting up and tearing down
Yeah.
each week.
But you get the benefit of popcorn. Like,
Yes.
hopefully they did popcorn.
Yes. Yeah.
That's one
How could
thing
you
that
not-
churches
how
are
could you have
missing is
church-
popcorn.
In a movie theater without popcorn,
Yeah.
I think that would be sacrilegious.
It's like ammunition to throw when he says something. So here's
Okay,
what.
no popcorn.
So as you're down there in Quincy with your pastoral meetings, I want to find some statistics.
Okay.
How many pairs of underwear did he sell? How many
Okay, you gotta give
highlighters?
Yeah, I was gonna say I need some.
Okay.
I need some context here.
So through the years that we've been down at Keokuk at the crossing and listening to Clayton preach, he'll mention certain things about his life because he was like 6'7". He just doesn't fit into the normal
Yeah.
extra large style clothes, because he's tall.
Yeah.
And he makes mentions of, certain items, clothes. And then he'll, the next week he'll say, oh yeah, to answer all these emails I'm getting, this is the type of underwear I was buying, because he mentioned bamboo underwear. People are like, guys are like, okay.
And then so everybody sends him emails about the underwear, right?
Right. Then he mentioned something about Sauvage, the cologne. And I'm sitting there wondering how many guys got Sauvage this year, because he talked about it. And then the highlighters, he mentioned them. So I'm is he getting kickback?
Yeah. Hey, well, I thought it was funny after the Sauvage. Well, what's kind of crazy is right before that, my son actually was already I had heard about Sauvage before from my son. But I think it was the next week, he said, I'm getting all these people wanting to get me Sauvage. He said, I just want to put it out there. He said something about a lake house or something, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
I want to, did you get the lake house? No. One thing about him, I've never been an underhugger. Okay. So there's people under hugger.
Under hugger. Okay.
So there's people. I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'2", right?
Right.
And so when you hug people, like you give them a manly hug, right? I've never been the guy that gets his hands underneath the arms, right?
Okay.
I've always been either a one up, one over,
Yeah.
or I've been the over hugger, because my arms and my shoulders. Clayton makes me an under hugger. Like that's one of the things that was it stood out to me. He is such a big dude. I can't. It's awkward. Like I would be like, he would be like, what are you even doing? If I tried to be an over hugger, because I'm like reaching my hand up. You're like, nope, you're not doing this to me. I'm one up, one down. We'll split this one. It would be just so awkward. So I think about those things. It's weird. Those are the things that go through my mind. Also, I don't know, like another weird quirk that I have, if I walk into a place and they're playing music and it's at the same cadence that I'm walking, I have to switch my cadence up because I don't want to look like that. Like
you're marching to the beat.
I'm like, this is my theme song for my life,
There you go.
Oh, that would be great when you come up. I'm back in the sound booth. I could be like, oh, let's see.
You just matching my cadence, and he's like,
why is he doing this when he's walking?
why does he keep switching it up?
I could just yeah.
Then they're going to be like, wait a second, do we need to put one of those fall wrist bracelets on him too?
He's got the swag. He can hook you up. Yeah. I'm really glad you said something about under hugger and then talked about, because I heard under hooker. I'm like, what?
No, under hugger.
Hugger.
It's my Southeast Iowa accent.
Yeah.
I don't have the Hawaiian accent.
Oh, you should hear my dad. My uncle Dougie boy. Oh my goodness, he's got the pigeon. He's got the Hawaiian kind. I haven't heard him speak in like 20. We've been married 26 years, 27 years. I haven't seen him for a long time, but we need to go back.
I need to go. I've never been there.
Oh.
Yeah, if you guys, if there's room in your suitcase, I kind of need to go too.
Well,
I
could just get like the big army. No,
those
sorry.
big duffel bags.
The Navy
Sea
sea
bags.
bags. Sorry, my bad. I keep calling them Army duffel bags because we have some, but he's Navy, so they're sea bags.
They're sea
They're not
bags.
duffel
There's a
bags.
the army, or I don't know what they call them, the rucksacks. Yeah,
It sounds right.
yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
I
right.
had to look at you because it didn't
Just
sound
say it
like
with
you said
confidence.
that.
It sounds
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Rucksacks.
No, they're Navy sea bags because they're
Sea
from the
bags.
Navy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would I fit in one of those?
You probably
We
like.
could make you. We could. You'd probably break things. But
Oh,
Well, if you get two of them together and just say, "I have a really long sea bag." I don't know. I don't know. I just remember when the kids took them packed when you took them down to see Paigey. They packed their stuff in the sea bags or that either that or for camp or something like that. And then Paxton looks at he goes, "Oh, these just looked a lot bigger when I was a kid because now they're just like, you know." Yeah, he's. Oh, everybody's tall in my house. I
Except
will always
you.
be.
Face it, you're not tall.
yeah. You got a household of non-underhuggers
I
for the
know.
most part, except for if you guys decide you want to hug Clayton, then you'll be an underhugger too. I'm sorry, Doug. You.
I'm gonna have
You're
to.
about my height.
I'm gonna have to hug him and see if I can make him uncomfortable.
Dude, isn't that like the junior high,
Around
the
the neck.
junior high
Yeah.
dance thing? And then what are you going to do if he puts his hands around your waist?
Starts
Okay.
way into the music.
You're 6'2", you're 6'3", you need to get him in the middle and then just sandwich him in this weird awkwardness.
I hope he doesn't see this.
Oh, I hope he does because that would be hilarious. And he'd probably might do it or just look at you and shake his head and go, "Oh my
Yes.
gosh, what the heck?"
Yeah, if he does, maybe he'll allow me to not be the underhugger one time.
You know, the underhugger sounds like a really bad wrestling name.
Yeah.
Underhugger.
The underhugger.
What would be the theme song for the underhugger coming out on the mat?
I don't know, but he's gonna have to like come out dancing to or walking to the cadence of whatever song it's.
What if it's one of those like ones that keep changing the cadence, and then you're walking the one way, dun dun, dun like just a 4/4, and then it just kind of goes offbeat.
All right. Wow.
Like somebody there.
I just
They do that. And he backs up.
There you go.
I think we should make.
What's
you
in this
need-
coffee?
I don't know.
This
Lots
is-
and lots of caffeine.
Bean Happy Roaster coffee, which
This
is
is
what
Bean-
we're going to have down at.
Ah.
So Bob, my cousin, who
Yes.
roasts this coffee, and
Yes.
um,
Lots of caffeine. It's my friend.
it's good stuff.
It's good.
So yeah. Do you have any questions?
I do, but they're probably not questions that we'll get answers to here. But
Questions of life.
yeah, pondering,
Pondering.
deep.
We can make up stories. I mean,
Yeah.
So
We're really good at making up stories, except for you guys are making fun of my made-up story earlier.
I think I could probably come up with a better King Kong Trail like backstory.
Let's hear it.
I think it would involve. So I'm a little bit of a sci-fi guy. So it would involve interdimensional portals. Yeah, probably.
Some wormholes.
I would say maybe Bigfoot is involved. I've listened to a podcast called Blurry Creatures sometimes. It's an entertaining podcast. They're actually believers. And their whole podcast is about like just crazy stuff. Bigfoot's part of it. But they talk about Nephilim and stuff like that. And it's very entertaining. So, I mean, it would follow along those lines. I bet you like that would be my origin story for maybe you guys have like a portal, interdimensional portal where like Bigfoot lives in your backyard. You don't even realize it. And they think it's King Kong.
He's probably in cahoots with the chickens.
That could be.
Because I mean, they're like tiny dinosaurs. Have you ever seen chickens run? Oh, majestic beasts that they are.
no, they're not.
So they're probably his minions.
So you can't kill a chicken. and
No,
you
I
can't
couldn't
eat
do it. I
You
would.
smoke a chicken.
Yes.
From the store.
Yes.
But okay, so
I couldn't take a chicken and go, your name is Benny. You've
I
been a
love
sweet
Benny.
little chicken. You've,
yeah, and then just
and
go.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Well, what about the one we named Alfredo? I mean, it's already named for dinner.
Fettuccine.
You seen how fast that thing is? Not me. I'm not that fast. No, I know. I just couldn't. I don't know. That's
So, like, you guys just use the eggs?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so you just let them die of old age?
Well,
I don't know.
they're
This is
babies
our
still.
this is our first.
Oh, this is your first. So you
Yeah.
guys, you don't
So
know
our-
what you would do actually.
She says she can.
I can do all things through anyone who wants to. Let me.
Through Christ who
Yeah,
strengthens
that's
me.
totally taken out of context. But yeah, I grew up and my dad wanted to farm. My stepdad wanted to farm all the time. And then when I moved out, I was on a missions team, and then I came back home. It was actually on like this little farm. They had chickens. I helped them butcher them.
Yeah. When I was a kid, 5 years old, my job, we raised a whole, I don't want to say litter, I don't know what you
Flock.
call it. A flock. We raised a whole flock of chickens from chicks all the way up, and then we butchered them all at once. And my job was to keep their bodies from running down the hill after they've cut their heads off. There was an assembly line, and that was my job as a 5-year-old kid.
Hold the
Traumatic.
chicken.
So as you see, what's before you now that's the byproduct of.
Why are those scratches on your chest? Chickens. I had to hold it close so it wouldn't run away.
Yeah, they would try to
Headless.
run down. I'm like, I guess it's a nervous, like a nerve thing. Like they can still run.
Yeah.
Not
do
very
it.
well.
I mean, I could sit there and watch
But-
you do it, and I'll be like, well.
But
no,
you couldn't do it,
Nah,
no.
that's not my thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
more
I get
vicious
it. It
than
would be
he is.
hard to dip their bodies in scalding water and pluck the
Yeah.
feathers off and then gut them and all that stuff.
No, not
I've
mine.
done all that with my dad's chickens.
Yeah.
I just
Were you supposed to?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. I just haven't done it with Bug, Six, Addie.
Yeah, your
yeah,
own.
when you
Dingleberry.
name them, when
Your
you
own.
name them,
Barbie,
All
Skipper.
these chickens
that's what
you
he's
have,
talking about. I think
you have held close.
I do love
and,
my
and they
chickens.
have all
I'll
they
love
have
him
personalities.
And squeeze him and
And-
call his name George.
George. I want to name one Georgia now. I've got this list of names I'm going to name chickens in the future.
Uh-huh.
We are up to our limit city-wise, lawful-wise. So
If you're from the city, they
I'm a-
are not getting any more chickens.
no, we're not. Nor are we getting goats, donkeys, or anything like that.
I'm getting ducks. I'm going to get ducks.
No.
Quack.
Then I'm getting a bigger yard.
Take all your stuff out of the yard and make it really big.
No, it won't.
Yeah, I will.
No, it won't.
Move your smoker.
Then what will I smoke those chickens in? So, yeah.
I don't know.
You want those? I would gladly get all those animals for you if I had a bigger yard. Just a little bit bigger yard.
You might have to move just a little closer to Weaver out in the country.
I've looked.
We keep looking.
Yeah, I'm always looking.
Yeah.
Always watching.
Always watching. Yeah. But moving, you see how much junk we have here? That'd be a pain.
Yeah, we've got.
Yeah, it looks like you've taken a while to decorate. Wow, I didn't see all these guitars.
Yeah, and that's not all of them. I've got a few in cases and stuff. But I've thought about paring down and simplifying.
Yeah.
Each one of these guitars has a story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once upon a time, I was a block of wood.
You, yeah. Long ago,
Like
in a forest far, far away.
That was my brother's.
All right. Yeah, that's a good story.
They all have stories,
Yeah.
and I can't part
And
with
that
them.
one looks like its story is in the midst of being told.
Yes.
Oh, the
Well,
Warlock?
I've painted
Yeah.
it and I've stripped it down, and then I lost parts, and then I don't know how to find parts to it. I've looked and I just can't find.
Okay, this is what happens. You get the new parts, and the old ones, magic. will
Actually,
show
that
up.
was that one. I'm going to paint and put it in the King Kong Trail logo and throw that in the trailer.
I think you're sentimental. I think I'm coming to find that out.
Yeah.
Like you
He
can't
is
kill
so sentimental.
chickens.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of guitars. You
Yeah.
you know.
I could kill chickens and I can get rid of all his guitar. No, I'm kidding. I'll just keep mine.
As a man once told me, so he said, "You have gas." I'm like, "What's?" Yeah, I mean, just ask my wife, and he says, "No, guitar acquisition syndrome." And yeah, I'm always looking for the next one.
Acquisition, not accusation, right?
Yes.
Sure.
Acquisition.
Acquisition, I think.
Acquisition.
Yes.
Because accusation.
I'm
like,
acquiring guitar acquiring
they're-
syndrome, whatever.
they're
yeah.
accusing you of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It can go both ways.
Yeah, I
it
was
can
gonna
go
say-
both ways.
Yeah.
That guitar looks very familiar.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, all right.
On that
So you're
note.
sentimental.
Sentimental, yes, I am.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, thank you so much for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun.
This
And
has
this is
been
my first
completely-
podcast that I've done.
This is our first podcast with you too.
Yeah. Wow. It's in podcast number 123, right?
123. I'm going to say one. You know,
I'm gonna go high. Cause so we play this game. We played it in different places. How many flannels are going to be on the stage during different worship?
I know where you were talking
Yes.
about.
Yeah.
and I will never wear one. and I will never wear one because it seems like any video youth pastors are always or not youth pastors, worship pastors are always wearing flannel.
Yeah.
And I want to be the anti-flannel
Yeah.
guy,
But you're wearing one today.
not on worship stage.
Okay.
That's where it
He's
counts.
such a dork.
Yeah.
That's where it counts. Because you counted one,
No. You
and he
counted
took
one.
it off before
You
worship started.
No, you were on
that
stage,
didn't
and
count.
he walked on stage,
Nope.
and you go.
Nope.
So I was like, that's one.
But then
Yes.
he took it off before worship started, so that nullified it.
Ooh.
It was a flannel in retreat.
I voted
This
for
sounds
two-
like they're.
Yeah. This is the eternal debate. Was the dress gray or was the dress blue or whatever, green or I don't even know.
Yeah.
It
I
was,
don't even know what you're talking about.
was there 3 people on stage or was there 2 people on stage?
Okay. There's-
Yeah. Yeah.
2 people see it from 2 different ways. I'm the right
There's an
one, you're the
asterisk.
wrong one, you
Uh,
know.
Yeah. So what's your guesses?
I don't know if Keokuk's going to have very many flannelly, or not Keokuk, Weaver's going to have very many flannelly.
I think he's talking about how many episodes.
Episodes.
Oh, episodes. Okay.
Sorry, I was
so do I
trying
go
to bring it
high
back.
or do I go low? Okay, you went to 123.
123. It's just
123.
what popped in my head.
Okay,
'Cause you
that's
guys
a
said
good
between
number.
1 and 150.
I'm going to go low. 117.
Okay.
Where are you going?
Where's your heart feel?
How many episodes have we done?
He's a sentimental one. His heart's got to be saying something to him.
Well, see, I was going to go low,
Gonna take
but no, I'm not going to. I'm going to.
sentimental journey.
I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to say 132. And I know I'm wrong.
Probably.
Yeah. I'm always wrong. You tell me.
132, 123, and 117.
Okay. I will
So,
find out when
yes,
I
find
when I-
out, and then, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you my address so you can mail my $100.
Out of her,
Doug
out of her
Doug promised that
pocketbook.
she would give me $100. She didn't say that she would. She said,
We're taking bets, man. Taking bets.
Yeah. So,
I didn't even have to put any money down. That's great.
yeah. Yeah.
That's good because it'll be a monopoly money when it comes.
That's okay.
Yeah. Oh, I have the frozen monopoly, so it could be foo pretty monopoly money too.
Frozen. I don't. Oh,
Frozen,
Frozen,
the
as
movie.
in the Disney
Not as in
franchise.
cold hard cash.
Right. I was thinking, like you freeze it in the freezer, but then
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah, not like the legit monopoly, like the knockoffs, but it does say monopoly. So it's not a knockoff. It's a themed one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming out of your pile.
I'll take
though,
it
'cause-
either way.
Well, that's funny because I don't play board games.
I know. I wish you
So,
did.
no.
That's okay. I'll play.
Traumatized as a young child, I refused to play board games. Yeah.
Forced to play Risk too many times.
My,
like
I
Game
haven't
of
played that
Life.
since college.
so
Oh,
my
man.
my stepdad was very competitive on playing board games, and nope, I'm not going to be that way. So I don't play board games. I'll sit back and watch you and probably go somewhere else. But I'm just not into board games.
I'll watch you from another room.
Watch you
I'll
from
be
afar.
sitting with my chickens and playing guitar.
Yep. Yep.
Yes, actually, it is kind of fun playing guitar out there with the chickens because
We do
Yeah.
have 2 rocking chairs and we just sit out there and
rock and play instruments.
That's crazy. You know, I think people in Burlington probably have no idea what they have, like right here in the middle. Like, you guys are, urban hillbillies.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, seriously, like chickens and the King Kong Trail, and then rocking chairs, and like you guys are right in the middle of town, like exactly right in the middle of town,
We're
close to
smack
downtown.
dab.
Yep.
Pacha.
Yep.
Here's the town. Here's us. Right
Yep.
there. And this is the whole town we want to bring to church with us. Come with us.
All right. I think that
I feel,
I feel complete. I feel
Yes.
this is a.
all right. We left it all on the table.
yep.
Yes.
We got our numbers, and
We got our numbers.
Mm-hmm.
so we will put it right in the title of this episode, which will come out on Monday.
Okay.
So when we record, and then we put it out the following Monday. So if there's anything that you want to take away, let me know. I probably won't remember
Yeah,
to
I
put
don't
it out
know. It
anyway.
depends on who hears it. If Clayton hears about the underhugger thing, I probably will.
I still think.
It's gonna make all my interactions with him awkward after this, probably, if he hears about it.
That would be
Oh my
hilarious.
gosh. That's
Yeah.
going to be the snippet we pull out and send to him.
No. I'm sorry, Clayton. It just, you're just so big. I can't.
So tall. So tall.
I'm a big guy too, and that's what stands out. I'm not. It was so shocking. I'm like, he's so much bigger than me. It's like,
So
I was happy when I seen somebody else taller than me. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'm not the tallest guy.
well, like when we're shopping at Walmart, like just people's always trying to reach to the top. They're like, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir."
Yeah. I was stopped the other day going in there, little, I don't want to call her a little old lady, but a lady stopped. Are you in a hurry? Not now. Can you lift this? She had 2 things of Diet Pepsi. Can you put this in my car for me? Sure. Strong guy. Okay.
Aw.
So, yeah.
he's such a softie.
I am.
He
Especially
is.
Chickens, little old
especially around
ladies,
here.
guitars. I'm learning a lot.
We are pretty much an open book.
Yeah. True that. True that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the pages are blank, but we're open.
We're like
To
one of
be
those books
written
where you read it and you go to page 142 or page 98, and then you just keep just bouncing.
I
over.
love those books, those choices books.
Yes.
I'd love to have a choice on the ending.
Yep. So,
And then,
all right, this is getting silly. We're getting in the weeds.
Okay.
oh my goodness, I live in the weeds.
Yes, we do.
He used to.
Oh wow. Okay.
You can roll it.
That's something that
could,
she's going to
but-
hold over your head.
Zigzag.
Well, if I'm holding it over his head, he's taller than me, so I'll have to get a step ladder. So, yeah.
All right.
Okay. Anyway,
All right. Well, we're gonna close this off, but we'll have you back. We'll do dinner, and it won't be one of the chickens.
Okay.
At least one of our chickens. So
Maybe.
depends on how bad they are.
yeah.
You stopped laying eggs,
So-
freeloader.
All right. I'll let you walk it out.
All right. Thank you, Burlington, Southeast Iowa, people in Fort Madison, everyone. This is the King Kong Trail, and we'll be back next week with another fun guest in the studio. Thank you for joining us.
Jai, thanks so much, and we'll see you again
Yeah,
Yep.
soon.
Thank you.
All right.
like every Sunday.